first question that came in. Everybody talks about building passive income streams, but every passive opportunity I'm looking at requires considerable time investment or money investment with no guarantees of success. Real estate, online courses, affiliate marketing, they all seem to require years of active work before it becomes passive. Am I missing something? Is passive income some sort of marketing hype?
Dude, I'm gonna write down my answer here. Well, I would say first of all, I'd say define passive income because the list that you rattled off, a lot of that's I didn't hear one truly passive income opportunity in there. Not one. Real estate, absolutely not passive. Chuck invests in real estate. I invest in real estate. You're involved in real estate. I know.
Mm-hmm.
Would anybody in here say that real estate is passive?
No.
Absolutely not. So that's not passive. Of course, there's a difference between how much time you spend making the money, right? Because passive income, you have to build it. Real estate, you've got to buy and then you have to maintain it somehow. And when your renters destroy the place, you have to fix it. When you don't have renters, you have to pay for it, and that's negative passive income, which is a new word, right? I'm experiencing some real negative passive income right now, some real estate, and different business opportunities, yada yada yada. There's affiliate marketing programs, for example. A lot of the affiliate marketing programs that I've seen, anyway. And you can tell me, how yours is different, but it's not passive. It's not passive at all. You're selling a product. You're throwing some advertising out there online, and maybe people buy, and maybe I don't know, come back and buy more. I don't know, but usually, there's very little to passive. Let's think of what's passive. And I honestly, is there anything that's truly passive? I'm not sure, because even what we do is very passive. Um, we do credit card processing, so you add a client, and it doesn't take much effort you don't have to do much maintaining at all. You get them on board, you make sure that they're running right, and they don't really want to talk to you. You don't have to call them back and sell more stuff. They just keep running. You want to keep in contact every once in a while, just to, it's because other people are trying to get the business too. But allows us to stack on more and more and more and more and more and more and more. So every client that we add, we get a raise, and it doesn't, in what we do, it doesn't. We don't pay for advertising, so it doesn't cost a lot to build that. It's sweat equity. So you asked a lot of questions, right? You asked about passive income opportunities. It takes money to do it, and it takes a long time to do it. Passive income, when you go get a job, they start paying you right away. When you start building passive income, you make nothing, and then you make a little bit. Like the first passive income I ever had, it was like $6 a month, $5.95 or whatever that was. And at first it was like, I'm so excited to make $5.95 a month, and then it was, you have two of those and it's almost $12, and but pretty soon it was enough to make my little. I had a little white pickup at the time, a little Chevy S10, and I think my pickup payment was like $150, right? And so pretty soon I had my pickup payment taken care of over a few months, right? But so I'm making about $150 a month passive income, but then it's more and more and more. And I remember, and back then my overhead was pretty low, and I think it cost like, $34,000 a year to survive, to meet my bills. But I remember when my passive income got to the point where the monthly check that I received, it was something like, I received a check. Back then they didn't deposit money in your account. Back in the olden days, you get checks, and it was 34 some odd dollars. And I remember, it's like, I showed the check to my wife. I go, look at this. Look at, this is coming in every month. We're free. We're free at this lifestyle that we're at. And so that's to address your time question. Does it take time? Yeah, it takes time. Pat, you will not get free overnight with passive income. Passive income grows slow, but you want to get into something that also goes away slow. So like integral to people's life, like lights. Like when you go to your home and flip on the light switch, somebody's making passive income off your utility usage. You don't really think about it. You want your lights to come on, you want your stove to work, fridge to work, and all those things. So it's very integral to your life. So utilities are a cool deal. But your phone, you know, use it. People, they can't get away from it. They're addicted to it. So that's, in their minds, very integral. And if you want to make a phone call, it's important to have. Even before cell phones, right? The phones you used to hang in the wall back in the olden days, those cost $20 a month, and what was it? The Bell Company.
Bill.
They were so big. They were a monopoly. They'd split them up into Midwestern Bell, Atlantic Pacific Bell, and all that. But that was passive income. And of course, they had to maintain. They had trucks and wires and people working, and so it wasn't entirely passive for them either. But in anything that you start and do, subscriptions are a good, like especially for software that people are going to use every day is a good thing. Anything where you could get subscribers that are going to use the thing that you're selling, and they're going to use it every day. They're not going to go, I don't really use that anymore, so I may as well get rid of the subscription. But those are the ones that are probably uh, mostly passive. But it's still, you've got to go out and get those clients. But the cool thing about passive income though is you, even if it's small, your monthly income continues to grow, and pretty soon at some point, depending how well your system about going about acquiring new business is, the better the system, the faster you're going to get to the point where, like, if this is your bills and this is your passive income, and you're going,
Right.
and then you hit here, and this is free, right? When your passive income meets or exceeds your bills. And then when you go like this is all extra money. And so you can either do that, like, now with this money, like one of the things that Chuck and I have done is use this money to buy real estate. And then you get some passive income off real estate. Hopefully it appreciates. You can do whatever, you can build some value in it. You can live in a different place. You can travel more. And if it's passive too, and if you've got this money coming in every month, and it meets or exceeds your bills, you can be pretty much wherever you want to be in the world. You have a lot of freedom. You can stay at home. You can build more. You can stop. It gives you choices. So passive income, though, it does take a little while to build versus just going to get a job, which a lot of people won't. They all want this. They all want this place where they have passive income and they're free. The thing is, though, the choices along the way. They go, well, I need to get a job because I need to pay those bills. Okay, well, maybe figure out how can you be innovative enough to figure out how to pay those bills until you do this thing. It's like, I think building passive income is like losing weight. It's most people would love to be too thin and trim, but they won't necessarily do those things to do it. Instead, they'll suck down 1,000 calorie drinks. And just like most people will go get a job and then try to figure out something some other time to get free. Yeah, it takes a little while, but let's say, for hypothetically, it took 7 years to get free. If it took 7 years to go from here to here, but if you or you can go work for however long a career is and never get free. It's kind of where it lies. It's like, you're willing to do which one do you what. And so, yeah, it takes a while, but you can speed things up if in there you're going, all right, how can I speed this up? How can I cut my time in half, or at least cut a couple years? How can I speed this up? And so that's one of the things that Chuck and I work on, or have worked on, and continue to work on over the years, is how to speed that up. Because we want this much money, because then you can buy all kinds of real estate and have all kinds of negative passive income that
Right.
that eats away at your real passive income. But that's a whole nother story.
And I think the root of that question too was, looking at a lot of different deals. I think it's going to be really difficult for someone to go out there and go, I just figured out the new passive income stream. Most likely you're going to join forces with someone. And I think it's important when you do that, you have to look at the model. And some things cost money, some things don't. But you got to get in, work with people that really understand how to make it work. That's the important thing. A lot of people, they just sign up for these passive income deals and they think they can be passive on their work and expect to get passive income. It's like, no, no, no. You need to have good mentorship in someone who's done
Yeah,
it, show you how to do it. Because it's
that's
not
true.
easy.
I saw it's like opportunity, discipline, results.
Yeah.
Right there, and within that discipline too, something that Chuck mentioned is what a lot of people get roped into. Like, they join a network marketing organization, for
Hmm.
example, and those aren't typically passive either. They're different, right? They're network marketing.
Mhm.
But I use that just as an illustration. I don't dislike multi-level marketing or network marketing. I don't mind it at all. I don't do it, but usually you get roped in by somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. They go, "Oh man, you can make all this money." They're hopeful that they're going to make the money. They probably never will, and most of them don't. And most people that get into business opportunities don't, because what Chuck said. He said, you got to get in with somebody, and somebody who somebody who knows what they're talking about, who has firsthand experience, know what they're talking about because they have firsthand experience, and they've been successful doing it. You get into an organization where people have no idea, they're just going to do what everybody else in the world does, which isn't typically very successful. It's got to be a model that works with people that know how to work it successfully, and that's what most places don't have, is getting in. You don't have the ability to connect with and run stuff by somebody who really understands and goes, yeah, what you're seeing, what you're hearing, seeing, that's
Mhm.
not really necessarily face value. It's not really what it is. Here's what's really going on, and here's what we found to work around it. That is something that will make you, rather than never understanding what you're running into. Getting in with people that know. And
I mean, to get into truly, truly passive income deals, you have to have money before you get into those. Like, let me give an example. Like with the industry we're in, you can start with zero money and build it. You have to work it and build it and then eventually be free. If I wanted to be free just with earning interest off my money, I got to come to the table with a bunch of money. I got to get there somehow, because the only true passive income is you take your $3 million and you put it in an account where you're earning 4% on it. That is the only truly passive income there is. The problem is, how many people do you know have $3 million to do that, to survive on? So there's,
well, let's just for fun, let's run those numbers. What are you making it? What's a an easy to calculate interest rate today?
well, 4% on 3 million. What is that? That's 120,000 a year
So
in
that's ten
passive
thousand a
income.
month.
Yep,
So
10,000 a
oh,
month.
10,000 a month, and I think, how long? So when you look at a passive income deal, you go, all right, how long does it take for me to get to 10 grand a month? Is it gonna? Can I get to 10 grand a month sooner building passive income, or getting $3 million, which most people never do? But let's say you
Hmm.
could. How long would it take you to save $3 million versus build 10,000 of passive income? So passive income is worth doing because it's a much quicker way to freedom than trying to accumulate $3 million and then put it in the bank and get a taxable income of 10
Right,
grand a month. I mean, both
right.
of these are taxable. So, but well, actually, some of this isn't, because if you have your own business, building passive income, all your expenses are pre-tax, and interest income is not. As far as I'm not an accountant, don't play one on TV, but
Right.
I do believe that's 100% regular income taxable. Is that right, Ian? You would know more. Yeah. So yeah, yeah. So for that reason too, so you probably have to have $4 million
Right.
to end up with the same net amount as earning $10,000 a month in passive income. And I don't know about other deals, but I'm just thinking, quickly calculating here, like with what we do, it probably take, once you have to. I would say in what we're doing, 3 years. 6 months to really get up to speed and get your stuff
But let's say
together, and
let's
then
say
two and
it's
a half.
not. Let's say it's four. Let's just say it's even four.
Okay.
I mean, where do you get to the point where you have that kind of revenue coming in monthly in 4 years? I don't know many people that can save $3 million in 4 years to get there. I
Yeah.
don't know. I
Right.
don't know a lot of people who can do that.
Yeah. And so there's the thing. Back to this. Are you willing to work for 4 years to get free? Are you willing to work 4 years to get free? And then imagine 4 years later, if you continue at the same pace, you're making twice the money that you made, that you were even looking for to get free. Now you've got 10,000 a month of extra money to get into, let's say, real estate. So now you've got 10 grand a month. You can get into a lot of real estate for 10 grand a month.
Hmm.
And then you can also afford, so hopefully you buy it right, you get some appreciation, and in there everything isn't going to go to plan. You're going to have some pieces of real estate that just take a while to rent, or whatever you do. It's not always going to be positive. So hopefully it's going to be more positive and negative. But when you have the down months or something like a COVID happens and nobody pays the rent, well, you've got this extra 10 grand to cover those mortgages. And that's one thing that people don't tell you about real estate investing is when
Hmm.
stuff hits the fan, how do you pay for this? Like if you've got a regular job and you're making X amount of dollars
You
and you go,
can't pay
man, I
for it.
finally was able. Yeah, I know people who bought real estate having a regular job, even having their own business, but it's not passive and they don't have excess passive. And you want excess. You don't want just to be, I don't know what you want. I want
Hmm. Hmm.
excess passive income so that I can buy other stuff. I want to buy a Porsche. I want to do fun stuff. I want to be able to travel around, have the money and the time because when I'm here, I have all the money I need and I don't have to spend any time working. I shouldn't say that. And
Right.
what we do is probably about a day a week just to
Right.
maintain everything. But I can do it from the way I had done it. I can do it from anywhere I want. So now I'm free. I don't have any money to go anywhere, but
Yep.
I have all the time. But if I make a little bit more money, now I've got all the time and I've got a little bit more money than all my
Hmm.
bills. And so the more money I have, I still have all the time, but now I have more and more and more money to travel or to
Right.
to invest in other things. And you don't have to invest in real estate. Invest in play it. It's the stock market. Well, I don't know. Whatever.
Well, just buy
What,
dividend stocks then. Well,
or do whatever you want to do,
get your
right?
qualified dividends and whatever, and then you have more passive income.
When I was growing up, I worked at a service station, pumping gas, washing windows, checking oil, tires, and all that kind of stuff. The guy, Leo, the guy I worked for, he goes, John, save your money, buy good beer. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's small town Iowa advice. It was good advice.
Right. Right. Advice. That's wisdom talking.
So just buy good beer instead of buying cheap ice cream. Buy the really good ice cream with that excessive passive income.
Right.